I'm Audrey Governor from Times.
I'm Mibawa from MBC.
I am Lazarus Chakwera from Nyasa Times.
Blessings in Kwagwanji from Malawi TV.
Western Zodiak.
My name is MalawiNews and Radio Television.
My name is Zodiak from Times.
Thank you very much. At least we know various media houses, even the public broadcaster is here. We thank you for coming. I will not take much of your time. I will immediately call the Director General to brief members of the media. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me echo what the greeter has said. There are a number of things that we wanted to update the people of Malawi through you, the media. To my left is Mr. Iria Bodole, the Deputy Director General, and we'll be holding the interface together. The last time we gathered here, it was almost a month ago. But because of our passion to keep on updating the people of Malawi on the work that we're doing, we thought we should meet the media again. Last time we were there for a briefing like this one was last year, but because of other logistical reasons, we thought we can have it here. In any event, the media houses that are represented here also represent media houses in Blantyre. First and foremost, as Agrita has said, on the 9th of December every year, Malawi joins the rest of the world in commemorating the International Corruption Day. This year, we'll be in Blantyre at Sunbelt Mount Soch Hotel, and the guest of honor will be His Excellency the State President, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera. We expect the Vice President to be there as well, Dr. Saulos Chilima, and other senior public officers, civil society, the media, religious leaders, and a number of people. The theme for this year is Act Now, Fight Corruption for a Better Malawi. Act Now, Fight Corruption for a Better Malawi. Amongst the activities that will take place on the 9th of December will be the unveiling of the National Integrity Committee members, and that will be done by the President himself. There are 14 members in total, representing the 12 pillars in the National Anti-Corruption Strategy. Because of COVID-19 preventive measures, we have limited the number of delegates to be present at Mount Soch, but at least a number of them will be there to represent all the sectors of society. So for those of you that will not be able to make it, the media will be there to cover the proceedings live, and would ask the people of Malawi to join us, to join the President in commemorating the day through the media, through you, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, we are still continuing with the Anti-Corruption Awareness Month. Our officers are on the ground in various districts. We have a number of activities going on right now. Tomorrow, the last day, as Agrita has said, will be on the 8th of December. We started on the 8th and 9th of November, and being Anti-Corruption Awareness Month, it takes us to the 8th of December. Some of the things that we have managed to observe in the Anti-Corruption Awareness Month include, and that is something which we want to applaud the people of Malawi, the support that we are receiving as SCB from the people of Malawi. We have noted that people have the passion to fight corruption in this country. They are coming to attend our activities that we are doing across the country, and they're supporting the initiatives that we are coming up with. We are getting views from them, different stakeholders, on how as a country we can all contribute to the fight against corruption. Through our Corruption Prevention Department and the Public Education Department, we are taking part in monitoring the Affordable Input Program, AIP. I will not go into details. Some of the challenges that we have observed as SCB have also been observed and are being addressed. The state president has talked about that. The Minister of Agriculture has talked about that. Officials from the Ministry of Agriculture have talked about that. The civil society and other stakeholders have also spoken about that. Issues of network, we have observed that. But on our part as SCB, the things that we're observing, what we have noted is, and you'd agree with me, in every situation where there is chaos or commotion or struggle to get a service, people become vulnerable. When they become vulnerable, they're susceptible to corruption. We are monitoring that. And the other issue which we have also observed as SCB through our Corruption Prevention Department and the Public Education Department is that we need to do a bit of more civic education. One incident which our officers observed was that some people seem not to understand that not every Malawian or everybody is supposed to benefit under the AIP. Because of that, some of the selling points which are selling fertilizer and seed, you'd find that there are people that are beneficiaries under the AIP, and there are also people like you and me that are not beneficiaries, but you would want to buy the commodity, whether fertilizer or the seed, from the same selling point. For those that are under AIP, because of network problems, you'd find lines extending or growing. But for those that are purchasing the commodity using their money, cash, they'll go in there, buy, and they go home. So our officers observed from a number of selling points where there was commotion, people thought some people were being favored because maybe they have money or they can afford. They had occasion, or they took opportunity of that to civic educate them, to say, no, not every one of you people that are coming here, and they were able to verify that we are not beneficiaries, but they're also entitled to buy the product, fertilizer and the seed. So people understood. So we thought that's a lesson learned. But one thing I wanted to mention to the people of Malawi through you is that we should not rejoice when we see challenges in programs that government is implementing. That's what we have noted, that some people are rejoicing about it. It's very sad that we noted that. Instead of holding hands and address those issues together, support government, some people have found an opportunity to discredit government. The ultimate beneficiaries of that program are not the ministers, it is not the president, it is not the vice president, it is not these senior public officers in air-conditioned offices. It is that poor Malawian out there, your aunt, my aunt, our nieces, our nephews in the villages. So we should not rejoice when something is facing challenges. We should work together to resolve that. That is our plea as ACB, because we are also on the ground and we have observed a number of things as part of our monitoring. I'll move to investigations. Last time we were here, we gave you detailed information about the cases that we're investigating. I will not go through all of them, but you'll be free to ask questions on any issue that you're aware of. Last time we indicated that we had registered about 181 cases since 1st of July this year. And those were over and above the cases that we already have at the SCB. And we indicated that the cases involve a number of criminal offenses: money laundering, fraud, corruption, abuse of office, theft, and other financial crimes. As of today, we have registered an addition of 27 cases, taking us to 208 cases. We are still working in reviewing these cases. Last time we talked of the value of 1.2 trillion kwacha of the cases that we had reviewed. The figure has gone up slightly because we have received a number of complaints, as we have said, from the people of Malawi, others anonymously, from HRDC and other partners that we work with. One case that we received from HRDC was to do with the Mombera University. The figures there are quite huge. We are not saying the money was lost through fraud or corruption. That is for us to verify what happened. But when we add those figures from the cases that we have received from the day we met here, the figure has slightly gone up. I'll mention a number of cases which I'm sure you might be interested in, or because they attracted public attention. We had received a complaint relating to State House and some guests that were being accommodated at Crossroads. We are still looking into that issue. We are making good progress and we are receiving cooperation from the relevant authorities. We are still investigating the case relating to the use or abuse or misuse of the president's DPIN. In that regard, we are closely working with the Malawi Police Service, in particular the Fiscal and Fraud Unit of the Malawi Police Service, and we're making good progress. You might know that we indicated that the President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, had requested the ACB monies in his account. Of course, the other request was for us to unfreeze the account. What we advised counsel for the former president position, maybe you could go to court and we'll be able to argue the case in court. As a result of that, they have indeed taken the case to court, applying for the unfreezing of the former president's account, and the case is coming on the 22nd of December at 10 o'clock in the morning, Blantyre High Court. As we indicated the last time, as SCB we are aware of the legal position. The law indeed allows a person who is being suspected of committing an offense to have access to his or her bank account for general living expenses, medical expenses, school fees. We are aware of that. But let me not comment further than that because this matter is going to court. A complaint, an allegation relating to the National Oil Company of Malawi, NOCMA, and I'm sure most of you saw some of the allegations that were being made. They were circulating in the social media. Unfortunately, as SCB, we don't encourage that. We do not condone that because it has a disadvantage to our investigations. Suspects get alerted when issues like those are circulating in the social media. We should not go that route. If we can avoid that, let's do that. As I've said, for us as SCB, as a law enforcement agency, that has the potential to affect our investigations. I'm not saying it will affect our investigations, but it has the potential to do that. When you're listening to the news, any news bulletin, sports comes last. In as far as investigations are concerned, we'll talk about sports. as the last issue. You might remember we received complaints, and we talked about these complaints from the Central Region Football Association, Southern Region Football Association, and the Northern Region Football Association. We have made very good progress in as far as our investigations relating to the Central Region Football Association and the Southern Region Football Association are concerned, basically for two reasons. One, the first complaints that we received came from Central Region and Southern Region. And because of that, our investigations started with Central Region and Southern Region Football Associations. We are almost halfway with our investigations relating to the Northern Region Football Association, because we received the complaints after Central and South. And again, the other reason was that as late as last week, we continued receiving complaints relating to the Northern Region Football Association. We were dragged to court by the chairperson of the Central Region Football Association. He wanted to obtain an injunction against our restriction or stoppage of the holding of the elective General Assembly. They went to court, the High Court, one, to obtain an injunction, two, to compel us to review or disclose who the complainants that came to the ACB are, and thirdly, they also wanted us to bear the costs of that matter. They lost on two. They were granted one of their prayer. The court has given them a go-ahead. We call it leave, permission for judicial review, to review the decision which we made as SCB to stop the elections. But the court dismissed their two other requests. So the injunction was not granted. Their request for us to disclose or to review the complainants was also not granted. We were baffled with the last request for us to disclose the complainants. We found it a bit weird because we have a law that gives us an obligation not to disclose who our complainants are. If we do that, people will stop coming to the ACB to complain. We have an obligation to protect whistleblowers, witnesses, complainants, and informers, and we can't do otherwise. We can't do anything contrary to that. So pursue the matter. Like I've indicated, they've been given a judicial review to review the decision which we made as ACB. Proceed some of the civil cases that we have in the ACB. Just in brief, I've heard some of you, maybe all of you, last week, the High Court, Justice Dingiso Madise, gave us a judgment as ACB and the Attorney General. We were sued by Mr. Rashid Tayoub of Transglobe Export Produce Company for false imprisonment, malicious prosecution, loss of business, and damage to reputation. Him as Rashid Tayoub sued us for false imprisonment and malicious prosecution. Remember, we had arrested him and prosecuted him in relation to Mesgate. His company, Transglobe Export Produce Company, sued us and the Office of the Attorney General for loss of business and damage to reputation. He lost the case miserably, I must add. We don't know whether he will appeal to the Supreme Court, but we defended it successfully. Related to that, you might remember that we arrested and prosecuted not only Mr. Rashid Tayoub, but even Dr. George Chaponda. He equally sued us. The matter is in court. We are also defending it. Our hope is it will go the same route of Rashid Tayoub, because the grounds that they're suing us are the same. For them, they're only suing the ACB. They haven't combined with Attorney General. He wants damages for malicious prosecution, false imprisonment, defamation, and lots of business as well. Because apart from being a public office, a member of parliament, he runs a number of businesses. I'll move to criminal cases. Last time we met here, we also shared with you a list of cases that are in court. I will not go through all of them. I'll just give you highlights or some of the cases that we feel are generate public interest. But if there's another case that I will not refer to, that you think you may ask us questions on, please go ahead. I'll start with the case of the Republic versus Mlenga Mvula and Daniel Mhone. I'm mentioning this case because Mlenga Mvula was the judicial spokesperson. He was the face of the judiciary, but he found himself on the wrong side of the law. The case continues in court. He and his partner in crime, Reverend Daniel Mhone, were found with a case to answer. The case is coming on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of December for continued hearing. It's at defense stage. The Republic versus Tom Pinganjira. As a state, we closed our case, and I'm deliberately using the term closed our case. We noted that after we had informed the media that the ACB had closed its case against Dr. Tom Pinganjira, we invited inserts. People inserted us for closing the case against Dr. Tom Pinganjira. But that one is a legal term. What we meant was that we had finished parading our witnesses and we had closed our case. People thought we had dropped the case and closed it. Some lawyers and other people that follow court procedures took to social media to explain what closing the case meant, but that was after we had been inserted. We are using to insert anyway, but there was nothing wrong in closing our case. What we meant was we had finished parading our witnesses. The court gave us 5 days, both us and the defense, to come up with submissions. On our part, we are submitting that we have presented a very good case, and the court should find a accused person with a case to answer. Obviously, the defense will be submitting to court that the evidence that we had presented is not sufficient enough for the court to call upon the accused person to defend themselves. In other words, they will be arguing that the state has failed to present enough evidence for the accused person to take the witness stand and defend themselves. Uradi Musa and the others, they were sentenced. The last time we were here, we were waiting for sentence. They were sentenced. On our part, that case is closed. They are serving their sentences now. He indicated that he will appeal. We haven't yet received any notice of appeal, but if we do, likewise, we will defend the matter. The Republic versus Christopher Nzomera Ngwira. Mr. Nzomera Ngwira has indicated that he will appeal. Again, we haven't received the notice of appeal, but the status of the case as of now is that he applied for bail pending appeal. And the High Court in Mzuzu has given them the 22nd of December for hearing of his bail application pending his appeal. He wants to go on bail whilst he's waiting for his appeal. Another case relates to Mr. Jack Nguluwe. He was a district commissioner in a number of districts in Malawi, but the time we had an issue with him, he was a DC for Mangochi. Then he was moved to Mwanza. We arrested him. The case is still proceeding in court. It's coming on the 14th of December. The other case that I wanted to highlight to you is the case of the Republic versus Jean Matanga, John Kandulu, Fano Onkono, and Emilius Kandapo. This case was coming for hearing on the 3rd, from the 3rd to the 5th of November. We appeared in court, but the last time we appeared in court, the defense applied or raised a preliminary issue or a preliminary objection. They are arguing that ESCOM is not a public body because some of the counts that we charge them relate to their positions as public officers. In our view, they're public officers. The defense, they're arguing that they're not public officers. The court will have to rule on that. Once they have given us a date, we will be there. We responded to their application, their preliminary objection, and we'll be waiting for judgment. Last week, Friday, we arrested Mr. Charles Mchacha, and on Monday we arrested Mr. Bright Kumembe. He used to be principal secretary or secretary for lands at that time, principal secretary in the Ministry of Lands, but currently he is the PS for the Ministry of Defense. We arrested the two in relation to a lease of land in what used to be called or what used to be Kanjeza Forest. I will disclose one thing, and the reason why I will disclose this is because I know, and we know, that the other people out there by now know they know we have a warrant of arrest for them. We arrested 2 people in this case, but there are two more people to be arrested. I'm saying because one of them has called a number of people trying to find out why the ACB wants to arrest him. That's why I'm saying we know that he knows that we have a warrant of arrest for him. He's a member of parliament, and currently he's conducting parliamentary business. Therefore, we cannot arrest him. Once he's done attending to his parliamentary business, we invite him to the ACB for a chat. That will be next week. The other person that we have a warrant against or a warrant of arrest for is out of the country. We will get in touch with him, inform him of the warrant of arrest, hoping he will cooperate and come back. If he doesn't, there are procedures that we follow when we want to compel somebody to come home and answer a criminal offense. I will not mention their names. By next week, you'll be able to know them. And lastly, still on the issue of Honorable Charles Mchacha, the arrest of Honorable Charles Mchacha. I'm not raising this issue to attribute what happened to Honorable Charles Mchacha, and I want this to be made very clearly from the word go, from the outset. What I want to raise here is a fact. It happened after we had arrested Honorable Charles Mchacha, and I'll repeat this. We are not alleging that what happened is attributable to Honorable Charles Mchacha. No. When we arrested Honorable Charles Mchacha, we brought him here in Lilongwe for basically 3 reasons. The offense that we as SCB are alleging that he committed and the other 3 people was committed here in Lilongwe. Most of the accused persons are residents of Lilongwe. Most, if not all, of our witnesses for this particular case are based here in Lilongwe. And for those reasons, we made a decision that we'll prosecute this case here in Lilongwe. That's how we brought Honorable Charles Mchacha here in Lilongwe. But an incident happened. There was a driver from the National Statistics Office who, after some hours, after he heard that we had arrested Honorable Charles Mchacha, got in touch with the ACB. Because at first, when he was confronted, he didn't know why he was confronted. But eventually, when he had heard that Honorable Charles Mchacha had been arrested, he got in touch with us and reported what had happened to him. In brief, he told us that he was being followed by 2 cars without registration numbers, a Toyota Fortuner, brown in color, and a VW, some people call it VW in German, without a number plate as well. Cows in color. According to him, he was followed from Chingen. I think he observed that car, that it was following him, because he says after he had noted that he was being followed, at times he could increase his speed, and the two cars could do likewise. When he slowed down, the two cars could do likewise. They followed him from there up to here, Golden Peacock Hotel. When he came out of the car, a number of men emerged from the two cars and confronted him to say, "Where is Honorable Charles Nchaja? Where have you taken him to?" He said, "I don't know Honorable Charles Nchaja. I don't know what you're talking about." And he said, "I thought you were from the SCB. Where have you taken Honorable Charles Nchaja?" He said, "No, I don't work for the SCB. I work for the National Statistics Office." So they said, "Okay." They let him go, and they said they're going to follow it up. They said they were coming to the SCB, but they did not. So my message to those people, assuming they're listening to us, if they're not, I'm sure the message will get to them. If you are doing that out of your own will, you stop it. If you were sent, you stop it again. Officers of the SCB are public officers that have a mandate to enforce the law, to prevent corruption. They work for the people of Malawi. We do not have any personal interests in some of the complaints, no, all of the complaints that we receive at the SCB. We just do our job. When we arrest and prosecute, we do not have any personal vendetta against anybody. We're just following and enforcing the law. To target any of our officers, as that is illegal. Any person who does that, there are people that thought they were untouchable, that thought they were above the law, that thought they could commit different crimes and get away with it. We should be able to learn from history. We should be able to learn from past experiences from others. My message to them again, they should stop that. If they are being sent and they are caught, they'll be the ones answering the law. I reported to the Inspector General, and he immediately acted on it. He sent officers to our office that accompanied our officers wherever they went when they were processing Honorable Charles Nchaja. And again, my last message to them, if they're listening to us, if they're being sent, it will be them that will face the long arm of the law. I've seen cases where people were sent, they were arrested, and the people that sent them disappeared. They are on their own, facing the law. When they have been arrested, people will come for their bail applications, applauding them. But as the case progresses, people start disappearing. The crowds cheering them will start decreasing. At the end of the day, they'll find that they are on their own, maybe with a few members of their families. That's not the way to go. We do not encourage that. And I'll conclude by saying this. None of us in the Bureau is championing any person's agenda. We are not politicians. We do not work for politicians. We work for the people of Malawi. Let me stop there for the time being. Back to you, Egrita.
Thank you very much, DG, for that brief. At this point in time, I will ask if the DDG has anything. Okay, he has. Therefore, open for questions or clarifications. Thank you. If you have a question, you should come so that you speak on this mic. That's what I'm actually been advised by fellow members of the media.
Well, my name is Weston Guta from Zodiak. I've got a couple of questions. The first one is how is the SCB dealing with things between the anti-corruption month and the actual battles in the courts? That's the first question. The second question is whether the SCB has detected any evidence of corruption with the AIP, the Affordable Input Program. And then the story is about alleged corrupt practices between some officials at NOGMA and the cabinet minister. I'm sure you are aware of the public anxiety over the issue at the moment. And the question is, do you have any complaint implicating the cabinet minister, or would you give any comment on that one? Another question is, would what happened to the NSO driver be added to Charles Njaja's case, or does that amount to anything? And the last one is on the way forward of your contract as director of the SCB. What's the way forward for that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Yes, Audrey.
Okay, I have one issue to follow up. I wanted to find out what's happening, or at what stage are you in terms of investigations to do with the procurement of ambulances, just to have an update on that.
Thank you, Audrey. Any others? I think we would do ourselves justice if we just asked all the questions so that we could respond to them at once. Any other questions? All right, so it means those are the questions that needed to be clarified on. I will hand over to the DG and the DDG. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Egrita, and thank you so much, Weston and Audrey. And as Egrita said, we'll be able to take questions if there are any further questions. Let me start with the first questions from Mr. Guda. I missed part of the question. You said your question was about Anti-Corruption Awareness Month.
Yes, how you handling are you splitting your duties actually between the month and the cases?
Actual cases in court. Yes. All right. It's not really a headache for us. As we indicated last time, the activities that we're implementing under the Anti-Corruption Awareness Month, we are involving all officers of the SCB, not only our officers in the Corruption Prevention Department and the Public prosecutors, investigators, auditors, administrators, drivers, But what we have done and what we are doing is that we are giving each other shifts. We are working on shifts. When others are on the ground in the field, others are in the offices. The pointing I'm putting across is, even though we are out there to implement activities, various activities as part of the Anti-Corruption Awareness Month, we also realize that we have work to do in the offices, and including cases in court. So our offices that have cases in court continue to pursue and prosecute those cases. None of the cases has been affected by the activities that we're implementing as part of the Anti-Corruption Awareness Month. We have enough officers on the ground that are doing both, attend to cases in court as well as implement activities under the Anti-Corruption Awareness Month. Have we detected, again a question from you, Mr. Guta, have we detected any corruption with AIP? We have had reports suggesting corruption. As I've indicated, some teams from the SCB, especially from the Corruption Prevention Department and the Public Education Department, in some of the selling depots or depot, observed that over and above the price at which the subsidized fertilizer and seeds are being sold, especially fertilizer, some people are demanding extra amount of money for somebody to be able to access the fertilizer. If they're public officers, that's an abuse of office. If they're not, there are ordinary Malawians out there, that's corruption as well. Because by doing that, you are depriving other deserving beneficiaries from accessing the commodity, the product. Those reports, we are recording them, and some of them were able to address them there and then, like I've indicated, do a bit of civic education, and we'll be able to pursue those that we think they need to be pursued by an investigation. The other issue that we have observed, which borders on corruption or abuse of office, is that, and this is something which even the Minister of Agriculture alluded to, because apparently when he went to the Lower Shire, he also observed that some people are deliberately tampering with a network or lying that there's no network in order to limit or restrict the number of people accessing the commodity. And at the end of the day, when some people go home or leave the selling depots, they are now selling it to the people that they're targeting. Obviously, they are compromised. Whether they're receiving money for them to restrict other people under the pretext of no network. And again, that's an abuse of somebody's office, if they are a public servant. And we have also recorded complaints like those. NOCMA, we received a complaint, I think I referred to this, from the Deputy CEO, Mrs. Helen Buluma. Like I said, it's circulated around, but she formally wrote the ACB, and we opened the file. We are reviewing the complaint, and I think we should be able to start our investigations early next week. What I know at the moment, the complaint was being reviewed, because we have processes in the Bureau. When we receive a complaint, unless it's so urgent, it can be authorized without going through the other processes. But most of the complaints go through our review process. We have a complaints review committee that is composed of officers from different departments and sections of the SCB. They will look at that. If they find merit, they will recommend investigation, and an authority to investigate will be granted. I will not go into details of who is being implicated or who is not. It has the potential to prejudice our investigations. As we speak now, we haven't made up our mind that so and so is wrong or was wrong, and I will not go into details, as this is just an allegation. It is incumbent upon us as SCB to verify and establish whether the allegation that was made is true or not. But as we speak now, we treat this as an allegation. We'll be able to establish that or verify that or confirm that through an investigation. The national statistics driver. I'll repeat what I said earlier on, Mr. Guta. What I raised with you, I clearly said we are not attributing it to Honorable Charles Nchacha. So to answer your question, We are not, as we speak, adding any charge or count to Honorable Charles Nchacha, because like I've said, when the driver from the National Statistics Office came, he was not aware, or he was not, he didn't know why those people approached him. But after he had heard that the ACB had arrested Honorable Charles Nchacha, it's when it dawned on him that those people thought I'm a driver from the ACB. Then he reported. So we haven't connected those people to Honorable Charles Nchacha, and I will not connect those people to Honorable Charles Nchacha unless we establish that those people were acting on behalf of Honorable Charles Nchacha. If that's the case, we'll take it there. But as we speak now, we don't have any issue with Honorable Charles Nchacha in as far as the people that confronted the driver from the National Statistics Office are concerned. About my contract ends this month, but I will not discuss more about my contract. It's between me and my employer, and that's government. Those are contractual issues, but what I can confirm is my contract ends this month. The last question that was posed to us came from Audrey about the procurement of ambulances. That matter has reached an advanced stage. We should within 2 or 3 weeks. Last time we indicated that we do appreciate the pressure that the Ministry of Health is under to procure these ambulances. The people of Malawi out there need ambulance services, and we don't have many of them. So as a country, we need the ambulances, but we thought, despite the fact that we need those ambulances, we need to look at the issues that came up, that we reported to the Bureau, suggesting misprocurement, abuse of office, and corruption in the procurement processes. And because we understand the urgency of the matter, we should be able to conclude the investigations within 2 weeks, maximum 3. And the last time I had spoken to the Principal Secretary for the Ministry of Health, that's the message that we relayed, to say we understand the pressure under which you are to provide a service to the people of Malawi through ambulance services. Let me stop there for the time being. If there are any questions, we'll take them up. Agreed.
Thank you very much, DG, for responding to the questions. I wonder if you reporters still have questions. They are welcome. We do not want to gag you. It seems I think we've tackled all the areas that they were looking for. That means at this point in time, we are coming to the end of our interface. I would like to thank you, members of the media, for coming. We know there are a lot of things happening today, but you chose to be here so that Malawians could get from ACB updates on what we are doing as we serve them. We thank you very much for that. Before we actually close, let me invite you to refreshments outside, so don't pack and go immediately after we've closed, but you should linger around and just have grab a snack and a drink. I know some of you may even want to have one-on-one interviews. You'll be allowed to do that. You'll be given an opportunity to interact with the DG at that level. At this point in time, I would like to thank the DG and the DDG for being here for the media. And let me ask at least one voice.